The odds on your screen are not showing you the real probability of an outcome. They are showing you a price. That difference sounds small, but it changes the way you should read every money line, spread, total, and player prop. When a sportsbook displays -110, +150, or -200, the number can be converted into an implied probability. But implied probability is not the same thing as the true chance of winning. It is the percentage you need to beat at that price, with the sportsbook's margin already built into the market. Start with a simple example. At +150, the implied probability is 40%. At -200, it is about 66.7%. Those percentages come directly from the payout. They tell you how often a bet would need to win to break even over time if you repeatedly received that exact price. What they do not tell you is that the event has been proven to occur at exactly that rate. The sportsbook is not publishing a scientific measurement. It is offering a trade. The price is shaped by an estimate of the outcome, the margin the book wants to earn, the risk already sitting in the market, and the prices available elsewhere. The easiest way to see the hidden margin is to look at a standard market priced at -110 on both sides. -110 converts to an implied probability of about 52.38%. Do the same calculation for the other side and you get another 52.38%. Add them together and the market is claiming a total of 104.76%. That cannot be the true probability of two opposite outcomes. One side or the other must occur, so their real probabilities must add up to 100%. The extra 4.76 percentage points are the overround, commonly called the vig. It is the markup hiding inside the prices. To estimate the market's no-vig probability, you can normalize both sides by dividing each implied probability by the total. In this perfectly balanced example, 52.38 divided by 104.76 gives 50%. The screen showed 52.38 on each side, but after removing the margin, the market's basic estimate is 50-50. That is the first major lesson. The percentage created by the displayed odds is a break-even threshold, not a clean forecast. This is exactly why I use Parlay when I want to evaluate whether the price is actually justified. At Parlay CC, it can combine the live betting line with current statistics, injuries, confirmed lineups, role changes, and matchup context instead of treating the displayed odds as the final answer. You can use one AI model for a focused opinion or compare up to 5 leading models when you want to see where the analysis agrees and where it breaks apart. It also reviews previous losses and carries those lessons into future analysis, which matters because a model should not keep repeating the same mistake every time a similar market appears. The live chat lets you question the reasoning, compare prices, and ask what probability would actually make a pick valuable. You can try it at Parlay CC. Now consider a less balanced market. Suppose one side is +130 and the other is -150. +130 implies about 43.48%. -150 implies 60%. Together they total roughly 103.48%. If you remove the margin proportionally, the no-vig estimates become approximately 42.02% and 57.98%. The favorite did not suddenly become less likely because we pressed a button. We simply separated the market's estimated probability from the price charged to bet it. Even this no-vig calculation needs context. Proportional normalization assumes the margin is distributed evenly across the outcomes. In real markets, that is not always true. Research on betting prices has repeatedly found favorite long-shot effects, where long-shots can carry more expensive margins than favorites. Different sportsbooks may also shade the same outcome differently because of their customers, liabilities, or appetite for risk. So no-vig probability is not an unquestionable truth. It is a better starting estimate than reading one side of one sportsbook as a perfect forecast. This also explains why line shopping matters so much. A bet at -110 requires a win rate of about 52.38% to break even. The same outcome at -105 requires about 51.22%. That difference looks tiny on one wager, but it compounds across hundreds of bets. You can make the same predictions and finish with a completely different result simply because you consistently accepted a worse price. The same principle works with plus money. If one book offers +120 and another offers +130 on the same outcome, the higher price pays more and lowers the break-even probability. Nothing about the game changed, only the deal changed. This is where bettors often confuse confidence with value. A -200 favorite may feel safer because the implied probability is 66.7%. But safety is not the question. The question is whether the true chance is higher than the probability demanded by the price. If your best estimate is 63%, then -200 is expensive even if the team is still likely to win. A likely winner can be a bad bet. The reverse can also be true. A +180 underdog only needs to win about 35.7% of the time to break even. If your analysis puts the true probability at 40%, the team can lose more often than it wins and still represent positive expected value at that price. That is why raw win percentage can be misleading. Sports betting is not a contest to predict the most winners. It is a contest to buy probabilities for less than they are worth. Odds movement should be read the same way. If a line moves from -110 to -125, the displayed implied probability rises from 52.38% to 55.56%. That does not prove the real chance changed by more than 3 percentage points. New information may have entered the market, influential money may have arrived, or the sportsbook may be managing its exposure. The movement tells you the price changed. You still need to judge why. Before placing a bet, I run through a simple process. First, convert the offered odds into implied probability. Second, examine every outcome in the market and add the probabilities together. If they total more than 100%, identify the margin instead of pretending each displayed percentage is pure. Third, calculate a no-vig estimate or compare several sportsbooks to see where the market is centered. Fourth, build your own probability from the actual matchup and compare it with the break-even number. Finally, take the best available price rather than treating every sportsbook as interchangeable. This process will not make the true probability perfectly knowable. Sports are uncertain, models are imperfect, and new information can change the game. But it forces the right question. The next time you see -150, do not automatically read it as, this outcome has a 60% chance. Read it as, this price requires me to win 60% of the time before considering the rest of the market. Then remove the margin, compare the alternatives, and decide whether your estimate is high enough to justify the cost. The odds are useful. They contain information, market opinion, and a clear break-even threshold. But they are not the real probability printed in public. They are the price of accessing the outcome. And the difference between those two ideas is where sports betting value begins. This video is for education and entertainment only. Sports betting involves risk, and no model or method guarantees a winning result.